Just getting ready to go live. Here we are. We're live. Hello, and good morning. Good morning, Sandy. Good morning, everyone. And good morning, visionaries and change makers. Welcome to our live podcast. This is Entrepreneurial Elevations, a sanctuary where soulfulness meets business acumen. I'm Greg
Yes.
Peace, your mindset coach, alongside James Wyatt, the impassable coach. And this is today 4 seasons of business and the art of buying back your time.
Awesome.
And
Awesome.
indeed. And today we will cover the subject of 4 seasons, how important it is to take them into account where you are working on your business. That's the whole point, is to work on your business and not in the business. But we're going to get there. First, we're going to start with concept of buying back your time by Dan Martell. It's a great book. I recommend all of you to read this book, as it may change your life for better. So, good morning, James. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Greg. Good morning, audience. I'm doing very, very well indeed. Thank you very much. Really looking forward to this particular show because this is really quite clever in business, in strategy, and in your soulful synergy business. So looking forward to the show.
Absolutely. So am I. Last week we had an amazing podcast with Richard Evans, who's got his unique system of helping busy entrepreneurs with the Vavavoom. And actually, I really love his business name is Awaken to Business, which is absolutely brilliant. Richard, thank you for your time. But this week we would like to focus on buying back your time. And we would like you to reclaim your time and focus on what you love. What's the what's the buyback principle? And buyback principle is where you're understanding how you can leverage your business, everything you need in your life to get time and spend time on what you love.
Absolutely.
James, I would like to ask you a question, because obviously your previous logistics, experience and expertise.
Yeah.
Could you just give us, myself, and the audience, a typical challenges of running a logistical business?
Absolutely. Well, we need to go right back to when I first got my first depot. That was back in 2008. And there was, let me think, there was about 10 staff, 10 drivers. We had a customer service girl and me. So I found myself having to open the depot at sort of 4:30 in the morning, back the lorry onto the door, jump in the forklift, and get all the parcels and the cages off of the lorry, put them into the warehouse. Welcome any early people that would come in and collect parcels. I'd be running around, picking parcels up, giving them, from the computer, like the scanner, and then all the drivers would turn up, and I'd have to sort all the routes out, and we'd be moving all the parcels around, and I'd be driving vans in and out, and I'd be grabbing the phone and seeing if there was anything that needed to be done. And then obviously when all the drivers had gone, I'd be manning the phone all day, customer service, and trying to answer another phone to somebody else, and really found it quite involving, as you can imagine. So I was very much in the business, Greg. I was doing, opening the place, customer service, dealing with the drivers, dealing with the ongoing issues of the day. I'd have to deal with sales as well. So sometimes I'd have to sort of almost go home and change my clothes, because I would be in a work environment clothes. I'd have to go home and get myself into something smart and go out and do sales calls. And then, Greg, after all the drivers had come back, I would then be there shutting the depot and sort of waving the lorry as it went back to Birmingham. So my point is you couldn't be more in the business than I was. I had no time whatsoever for me. It was all about the business and stitched in the business.
And this is it. James, thank you for sharing this. So if you want to buy back your time while your business continue to grow, stay tuned. So, James, you went to open a business, drive, sorting the parcels, driving the van, taking all the phone calls, manning all the emails, all of the business communication, helping your team, and doing all the end of the day business tasks and closing the business. If that's not definition of work, working in your business and
Yeah.
owning, your own job, I don't think what it is, what else it is. There's lots of those out there on the market, and people working in their business with both hands and legs in completely, like you just mentioned.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What I would say, Greg, the only good thing about being in the business at this
Mm.
extreme level of knowing every single piece of the puzzle in your business is I knew what I was good at and what I was not good at. And that's really important. We need to understand what our unique ability is, because that's what we want to do more of. And we need to know what we're not good at. And that's really what we're talking about today.
And that's the problem. Entrepreneurs find themselves trapped in a daily operations with no time for strategic growth.
Oh, that is so true. I didn't even think about how I could sort of grow the business. I didn't think about, a sales strategy, technology, IT, or recruitment. I was just so busy running around, running the business. So yeah, looking
So,
forward to this discussion definitely.
indeed, yes. So, for that particular, if you would like to, if you would like to buy your time, and while your business continue to grow, I would say you've got to implement the buyback principle. Is it will be to hire and for freeing up your time, not just for operational growth. And this is something I've learned from Dan Mattel. Uh, I used to look at my business as a team leader and then mobilization manager. It's like, okay, what's the problem? Let's just resolve. Let's just find out how we can resolve. How we can find a solution to resolve that problem. But actually, that wasn't it. I didn't understood then at the time how this hiring to free your time solution and principle work. Because it's not about I need to hire someone to deal with this. No, 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 no. I need to hire someone. The principle talks about hiring a person
Mm,
to free up your time. You don't want to get for example, an assistant, like in your case, an assistant to deal with the emails, calls, and all of the business communication, just so you also, you're working with them. No, no, no. You would need to hire the assistant, so you delegate everything, all of that communication over to her. But there's a very important part of that is let it go. As a bit, and would you agree with me, James? As a business, as a business entrepreneur, as an owner of the business, you've grown the business. You gave your heart and your soul, your time away from the family to build something absolutely truly amazing. And I'm sure
mm,
thousands and millions of people would feel exactly the same. I just built my business with these hands, and now I've got to give such a crucial aspect of this business to someone else. How can I trust them that they're going to deliver? And this is the aspect of letting go. Except because obviously you can't. There is only as far as you can go on your own. Other, you're gonna burn if you try to achieve. So this is the pain line. You've gone so far. You can't go any further than that without a proper team in place. But a
mm.
team has to help you taking that to the next level by freeing up your time.
Yeah.
So that's very important.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Greg, is that when we are running a business as an entrepreneur, it is all about us and the business early on. And it's a responsibility that we carry. We want to be there for our staff. We want to be there for our customers. We want to be there for everybody. And if it means that we come in first thing in the morning and we leave last thing at night, then so be it. But what we're actually doing is not allowing the business to breathe at all. We think that we are all of the business, and if we're not there, then the business fails. I mean, bearing in mind that we probably don't even give us any days off. We're continuously working 7 days a week in the business, and that you have to. There's two questions there, really. Is what? Why are we doing that?
Mm,
what's the reason? Because if it's to free up more time, it's not working. If it's to
mm.
spend more time with the family, that's not working. If it's to have more fun, that's not working. And if it's to be more, I don't know, maybe more to be fitter, more healthy, that's not working. So you have to question the point that we're in business in the first place. But you are just touching on what you said there. It is about, you know, it's about change, isn't it? It's about getting to a future you, a future self you that is on the business, not in the business. And it's really difficult to change the mindset, because what you
Yes,
got you here won't get you there, as you and me both know. So buying back your time will grow. You know, you can grow your business by actually let going of it in terms of the responsibility, and to delegate those tasks that you're not so good at. So you're absolutely right. You do need to let go, but that's really difficult when you're an entrepreneur doing everything.
it is. I think it's all, is ultimately about, it is that you have to rewire your brain. So you have to really change your mindset.
Mm,
From my experience, my first let go, it was in my electrical business when I decided to just trust the team and ask them what will be your solution? What will be, what's the solution? What's your solution to solve this
yeah,
particular problem? And they gave me solutions, and I'm like, oh, okay. And I know I would do this like that. I would do this like, different, but actually let them do it. Let them do it, because they
mm,
are learning. And if you tell people what to do, so actually, if you tell people how to do it, you will never let them develop the skills. But if you tell them what needs to be done and ask them how would they do it, then you're actually allowing them to grow, to develop their skills. And maybe, and that's exact, in my opinion, every entrepreneur would like to have an amazing team who just go and do, and all you have to do is tell them, oh, that needs to be done. And they just go out and get it
yeah,
done for you.
yeah,
But if you're always tell them how to do things, they don't have to rely on themselves, because they know they have, you will tell them how to do it. So
yeah,
big nugget for you there, but for all of you there is learn to speak to your team in a way of non-directional. So it's like allow them to find their own way to do the tasks for, and then just sit back and observe, because that's the training. That is the training. Allow them to make mistakes where you can, because you can only feedback from what they have done. And if they've done it wrong, so that's the best starting place. If you've never, if you've never done this in your business.
yeah, yeah. I was just going to say that, Greg. You touched on something very, very important there, where you have to allow your team to fail,
Yeah.
because failure lives right next door to innovation. And one of the best feelings you can get as an entrepreneur is when you let somebody take control of a system or a process or the way you do something, and allow them to change it. And of course, your gut feeling is, oh, no, don't change it. We've always done it like that. It's always worked. Why would you change it? But I learned, I'm very good at getting the best out of people, Greg. I love being around people. I'm a people person. So my business was always about encouraging autonomy, giving people the space to make changes. And one of the best feelings you can get as a boss is seeing a process being changed. Maybe it'll go slightly worse, but then it gets better. And then you can almost forget about that process because it's better than it's ever been. Such a lovely, lovely feeling.
Yeah, totally, totally agree. So if you want to buy back your time while the business continue to grow, that's a very, the second part of that your message is you who's growing your business. And if you're busy taking calls, opening the doors, sorting out the parcels, doing everything, you are just busy running your business, but not busy growing your business. Wouldn't you agree, James?
Absolutely. You're in the engine room when you should be, up deck. If you're in charge of a big cruise liner, then you don't want to be in the engine room. You want to be on deck, seeing where the ship's going. However, when you start a business, then you do need to know what the engine room does. You need to understand all of those particular jobs within the business, but not for years and years and years. Spend some time getting under the bonnet, if you like, and seeing how everything works. But you really do need to understand you are the captain of the ship. You are the star of the show. and that you need to be, looking on the horizon to grow the business.
100%. James, you and me, we know what we're achieving here is you don't want to be in the engine room for sure. Being a captain, it is an amazing role, and I believe millions of entrepreneur is there that about on the deck being a captain. But how about if you have your fleet and you have all of the captains to take control of the entire fleet? Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean,
Precisely.
but you do need to know your business, Greg, because you wouldn't be able to delegate to somebody without really understanding what that role is and who can do that role. So there's nothing wrong with being in the business, but don't stay in the business. Your job is to get on the business and direct the business. That is
And
ultimately your show.
so true, James. Yeah, we can't rely on other people to come and do the job for us. We need to shape them. We need to not entirely train them, but it's the vision that you have for your business, and this is your business. It's your vision, and you have to create this. The team and the team spirit. So you've got to create the vision for your business, and what is what's your business is about, the
Yeah.
culture. And if you create the culture within your business with your team, that's gonna allow you to really get to the next level.
Yeah, one of the best things you can do, Greg, is you've got to think of your business as world class, the best of the best. Raise your standards. It's about sitting up straight and really making sure that you are the best in the industry. And I know that's an easy thing to say and a difficult thing to do, but with that mindset, once you start thinking that, as we understand how powerful manifesting is, but if you as the leader believe you can be the best, you want to be the best, then you'll start attracting staff that think the way that you do, and also repelling staff that don't want to be like that. So you end up with this wave of energy, this high spirited business that wants to be the best, strives to be the best. Yes, you can have KPIs, you can have league tables, you can have other measurable things, and you should have those in your business. But the overriding feeling is that this is the best business that it can be in its sector. So that's the mindset, the energy, the vibration of the business that will help attract people to your business. And then you're absolutely right, Greg. It's about understanding their unique ability,
Yeah,
and it being the one that you're not so good at, and you delegate that job to them.
100%. But actually, on that, we've previously touched on this, briefly, and this is about the effective delegation, the strategies for effective delegation. Because obviously, it's the team. We understand as an entrepreneur that we have to grow the business and not necessarily do everything because it's impossible. So getting the right team to help you do that, and understand that it's not just to do the job, is everyone you getting into your business is supposed to be you in mind. You should have this: how can they free my time?
Yeah.
Because you are ultimately, as you just said, James, is you are the person who is responsible for the business to start with. You need to just almost like transfer, do the brain transfer to other people. They need to understand what the business values, so they can take that business forward.
And do you know what? You've made me think of a restaurant. Imagine a restaurant where everybody's sitting down for dinner, and they're serving food and they're taking orders, and you've got this business owner standing there watching all his staff, and he's running over and adjusting stuff just after they've done it, and he's keeping an eye on the kitchen. He just seems to be on his staff all the time and picking up the little mistakes that they make. That is not a great business. That is going to feel like an imbalance. I wouldn't feel like that was a nice place to be, because I'd feel like I would notice the staff being adjusted all of the time. A better
Yes.
business would be the business owner is not there because he's delegated the chores, the jobs, the things that he'd be doing. He trained them, and they're getting on with that themselves. That would be a better flowing business. It's almost like the staff are invisible, but they are visible. in terms of that customer service. So that would be my analogy, that you'd have this business owner there adjusting everything all the time, or you'd have this relaxed, high quality business where staff are left alone to do their jobs. That's the two differences I see.
So I think there's a there's a problem here. There is a problem that we entrepreneurs, we all face the same problem, is delegating tasks. They end up consuming more time than doing them yourself. And it's just the principle is, you've got a team, and if you let them do everything like in the restaurants, and you're gonna sit back and relax and see how this is, it's actually have you tried to delegate the job before, and has it taken you a longer than you would have just gone up, get it done yourself, and forget about it? Have you
Of
been
course,
in that
yeah.
situation before?
100%, absolutely 100%. I've watched it where I think, you know what, I've done it before. I mean, I might ask somebody to jump out of a van. They'll, jump out, let me do it, let me reverse in, let me put it where it needs to go. Or maybe there's a collection that needs doing, Greg. Oh, let me jump in the van and go and do it. Because entrepreneurs can see the shortcut and they think it's value, that if they get it done quicker, then it's good for the business. But it actually isn't, because it does two things. One, you're doing the job, and secondly, you're undermining that person you delegated it to. So it's having an opposite effect.
Indeed, yes. But and how do in your experience, how can we help our entrepreneurs, the audience, to delegate effectively? And because obviously this is that mindset. Oh my God, it's taken a, I might as well just write this myself, reply to them, go and do this myself. So again, going back to my electrical business, is I know it would take me twice as fast to go and get it done.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, oh my God, we're not going to move. We're, going to be late for our next project, and it's just going to take us longer and longer. I need to reschedule the other clients, and it was just, I've seen problems and hassle. But what I didn't realize is I needed to remove myself out of that equation, because it's no longer me who's going to get this done twice as faster. It's them. And if that's how they do it, if that's their speed, I now need to, stand on top of it, away from it, and just observe it. Okay, so this is our new, efficiency. Without me being in the business, I need to work on the business. Fine. Let's now work on that aspect. And I now need to schedule the clients accordingly, because it's, we're doing slower. But then I've hired another team member who joined, and actually, with two people in the business, we were able to go back to the efficiency of the same aspect as I was working in the business, and that free up my time from on the tools to be on the business. And that was a very simple example there, but it took me months and weeks to actually months to nail this, to get into that conclusion. And it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy because I couldn't let it go. I wanted to deliver the best service to my clients. But when I understood it is not me, I need to work on the business, not in it, it actually changed my life.
Well, let's just think about the mindset of delegation. So what we're actually saying is that we're very good at all the jobs in our business, or we think we are. Remember, we think we're good at everything in our business, and that's important. So when we delegate to somebody else, the mindset is they're not going to do it as good as me because they're new to the business. So you've already got this sort of mindset where they're never going to be up to speed. However, we need to understand that if we allow that person to have to make a mistake, it's the way we deal with that. It's the way we deal with that. And that would be the relationship between you and them, the way that you communicate with people. You wouldn't be snatching it off of somebody and saying, oh, give it here, let me do it. What you'd say is you'd let it run out. You'd let that task run out. And then you would talk about that task. And then you would say something like, is this world class? We've done this, and it's quite good with the restaurant, actually, because you could say, instead of grabbing that knife and fork that isn't perfect, you could have a conversation about it after and say, look, you imagine you were sitting down for dinner and you saw the knife and fork not quite at the right angles to be world class, what would you think? So get them to see the mistake and them to feel the emotion of the mistake, and then get them to want it to be right rather than snapping at them. So that's a good analogy. It's about how you deal with the mistakes and that relationship you've got with your staff, because it's the analogy of the guy with the coat on. Do you remember the famous story where you got the guy with the coat on and the wind and the sun are looking at him, and the wind says, watch this, I can blow that coat off of that person. I can use the wind and the rain and I can get that coat off that person. Watch this. And of course, he blows and he fires the wind and the rain, and that guy just grips the coat even more. And the sun said, let me give it a go. And the sun shone, and it showed love, and it showed kindness and forgiveness and patience. And the guy felt that warm sun, and he took the coat off. So it's all about being that person that they can talk to, that they can learn from in the right environment. So it is about the mindset. It's about letting go, delegating, but also the way you deal with the problems that they make. So absolutely.
I love your analogy.
And getting back to the restaurant, if you think about this just quickly, and I will leave the restaurant alone in the end, if you're allowing your staff to understand that they can have autonomy, they can do things for themselves. If they see a little error, they adjust it and make changes, because we talked about they want to be world class. And you as the restaurant owner, and I've never been one, you'd be at the front of the house. You'd be shaking hands with people coming in and shaking hands with people that are leaving. So you'd be creating a much, much better environment, wouldn't you? By having you at the front, greeting your clients, and you allowing your staff to make mistakes and learn from them. I think that would be such a better energy, wouldn't it, in that business?
100%. 100. I love your analogy, of the wind and rain and then sun, how the positive energy is actually helping you to find from within the right things to do. And there could be more examples, but I really like that one. That one's really good. How actually on that note, when we are in this negative, this this energy where like you're let's take for example this busy entrepreneur in their business, and the month end, you have to do the reports, you've got to meet the deadline of your project, you're being behind on your schedule, and there will be financial consequences or anything else that that we all been there. And all of that mental baggage is there. Is there any room for you thinking about how to solve the situation? Totally not. No, because it's so much in your head. There's no room to actually, think what to do and how to take this and solve it. I've been in this situation many times, and what helped me is meditation in the morning, or actually, and that's Joseph. This is shout out to you, man, because 2 years ago you told me, Greg, if you've done everything you could, that's it. You've done it. Make a peace with it. And he said that, let it go, and go and enjoy a walk with your family. And I couldn't understand. Like, oh my God, I'm not there. And that's exactly what I did. I applied this principle. I've done everything I could. And I just and I was like, okay, fine. I'm going to go for a walk now. And you would not believe the next day, it's like universe brought everything for me, what I needed.
Yeah.
Everything what I needed. And it's just that this situation almost sort itself out. But that's next level, isn't it, James?
Absolutely. And just quickly on deadlines and KPIs and measuring yourself, league tables. Yes, they are important, because everybody, not everybody comes to work to earn money. Some people come to work because they want to be part of a successful business. So they want to have goals and deadlines and KPIs and stop costs and all these sort of things, and they're very, very important. However, if you haven't met those deadlines, if you haven't met those targets, it's not about getting angry, as Greg was saying. It's about understanding that it's about perception. Actually, it's the way that you see it. If your team have done the best they can, and you're in the right place spiritually, and you've done your meditation, you've done your gratitude, and you're seeing life from a forgiveness point of view, then that really is going to come across in those meetings. It's going to be, look, we did the best we could. The team, they put everything they could in, and that's something to celebrate. You're absolutely right. Not something to be sort of, well, this isn't good enough. You're not good enough. This isn't good. It's the way you perceive it. The outcome's the same. The numbers are the same, but it's the way you perceive it that's really important. And that is soulfulness. That's the synergy that we have from within.
And thank you, James. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. This is something that I know you are teaching privately, and the soulfulness energy we get from you. This is something I know that you're sharing with people, and you're teaching. I get that from you, and I absolutely love to be around you. So if you want to get some of that energy, please make sure you follow up with James, because he can transform your life. And I know, James, you do that to hundreds of people, if not thousands. So stay tuned. And well, if you want to become the delegation pro and multiply your productivity, stay tuned, because we've got more. And so, James, what I would like to do is I would like to cover the next one is the problem that entrepreneurs, another challenge, another problem is struggling to increase output without sacrificing personal time. So we've almost, we already touched briefly on that, because obviously we're busy running the ship. We are finding ourselves in this engine room. We are there in the restaurants, not allowing our team to take on some responsibility and make those decisions. From your experience, how would you, how have you approached this? Actually, tell us, please. How have you changed from this busy manager of running your own depot? What was your first challenge that you've overcome, and then you were like, oh my God, light bulb moment?
Well, you need to understand that there are tasks in a business that need doing, and when you're running a business, as an entrepreneur, you're going to notice other people in your business and the way they perform. So, for example, you might notice that a certain driver is very, very smart and very good at talking to other people, and he's very good at the collections. He's very good at getting in on time. So he could be a supervisor. You could empower that person to be the role model for all of your drivers. Or you might find that one of your drivers is really good. Say the phone rings, and they take that responsibility. They go and answer the phone, and they're really good on the phone. They've got really good telephone voice. They're very customer centric. These are the things we need to notice, because somebody in your business might not actually be in the right role for them. We've talked about that before. But it's all about, understanding the roles in your business, and as quickly as you can, try and promote within the staff that you've got to get into those supervisory roles, to empower people to do more things. So that frees you up a little bit of time, so you can sort of stand back from the business and then look at the business. Because when we are a little bit sort of away from the business, we can see the overall strategy better. We can understand where we need to grow the business and what sort of times of the year we need to grow those businesses. And I think that we had a conversation about the seasons of a business and how important it is that we understand when we should be smashing it out the park and when we shouldn't. And I always remember a very, very good friend of mine said to me once, when I was first starting out in logistics, he said to me, James, there is going to be times in logistics when it's quiet, and we should chill with the steel. Yes. And then when it's busy, we get fizzy. And I always thought, he's right. We can't just be running around like headless chickens, revving the engine. It's like owning a Ferrari, isn't it? You can't just drive around all the time flat out on the accelerator. Well, you'd probably get pulled over a few times. But my point is that all businesses need to to relax, to sort of take the foot off the gas, and they need to, but they need to be ready to go when they need to be go. So I know it's something that you're very good at, and you understand the seasons of a business. So
Well, actually, yeah. You're totally right. You're totally right. But just before we get there, is because the seasonality of the business is a massive,
yeah,
impact on will have massive impact on your business. But this is going back to just want to go back once again to maximizing on your time and your minimal time investment for your actual business just before we even apply this seasonality of your business
yeah.
is like in your case, what you've said is recognizing the potential of your team and leverage on it. That was your unique situation, and you were able to recognize the unique ability of that person, which we also talked about in a previous episode. Unique ability, your unique ability. But if proper onto the entrepreneurs, they struggling to increase the output, what could they use to maximize that efficiency? And what system could we give our audience to put in place, as in to use what they already have in their business?
Okay, so I think one of the most important things is your asset is your people in your business. So I would say have a conversation with everybody in your business, and this is what we used to do. We always had a Monday morning meeting, Greg. So we'd have everybody in one of the rooms, and we'd sort of present the week ahead, the challenges that we're going to have. Maybe there'd be some specials that we're going to do. Maybe there was some changes that needed to be made. But when you've got the whole team there, you can really raise the energy of the business. You can talk about strategy. You can talk about anything that's coming up. So I really would encourage a Monday morning meeting where you get everybody from your team to do that. And look, not all business owners are extroverts. Some of them are introverted. Perhaps they're not comfortable talking with everybody. So find someone that is. Get somebody in your business that's happy to talk to everybody. And we talked about wealth dynamics. That would be a Blaze. That would be somebody with the extrovert energy, someone that's quite happy to talk to everybody. Now, they don't need to know everything about the business either, because sometimes introverts tend to know every sort of detail about a business, and extroverts tend to sort of be the salesy gloss over everything. So you want a bit of high energy. You want to get all your staff together. You want to talk about, the direction, being world class, and anything you need to do. The second thing I would do is I would have individual, regular talks with your staff. So understand what makes them tick, what is important to them. Because I've had conversations with staff before, and money wasn't the driving force, Greg. We all think staff just want to be paid more and more and more and more, and that's how we get the best out of them. But actually, a lot of staff, it's not what they want. They want to have, they want to get something out of the day to day. They want to feel part of something. They want to feel important. They want to feel like they're being stretched, and they're being allowed to sort of grow in the business. So the first thing I would say, Greg, is to increase output, is to work on the most valuable bit of your business, and that's the people. That would be the first thing that I would do.
I would put this into one one subject is collaboration, and I totally agree with you. We need to collaborate with a team. Monday meetings, perfect tool for every entrepreneur to get it out there. If you're not doing it, it's an immense value in getting feedback from your team. This is important because understanding where the team is, what we're doing, is brilliant. But allowing for you as a business owner to get feedback from your team and to give a feedback. I've been in a situation before where I've employed someone within a team, but I was so busy. I was so busy that I could not give the feedback to this person that they are underperforming. And then 3 months went by just like that. I'm sure you've been in a situation before when 3 months went by without without you even noticing that 3 months went on, the probationary period is over, and you have noticed that there is underperformance. It's just they're not, they don't quite nail exactly what they're supposed to be doing, but you've not taken time to feedback to them. You've not taken time to understand what maybe they got too much responsibility. Maybe there was a problem in, there was a personal problem or professional challenge that they couldn't overcome to
Yeah.
meet your expectations. And without allowing for proper feedback from both sides, I think, this is collaboration with your team, Monday meetings or, weekly meetings with your team, and allowing
Yeah.
for those one-to-ones to
Yeah.
find out what's happening.
The thing is, Greg, they're going to be craving that. They want to know how they're getting on. They want to know that they're important within the business. So, really important we do that. One of the things I was really good at, Greg, back in the day was I was very good at observing a business. And what I'm looking for is I'm looking for bottlenecks. I'm looking for wasted energy, wasted time. And that is not overseeing someone's ability to do a job. It's just understanding bottlenecks. It's very easy to see that in logistics because, at the end of the day, people are going to literally bang into one another in the flow of the business. And that what we'd often do in logistics is actually quite an easy thing to do because you've got this flow of parcels. Now, in your business, that might be the flow of a contract, whether it's physical or not. Things flow through a business like water. So try and think of your business as flowing water. Flowing water is the healthiest it can be when it's not sitting stagnant. Okay. Water is a really good analogy. Your business is flowing, whether it be a product, whether it be customer service, whether it be media. I don't know, whatever your business is, you've got to understand that the product or whatever it is you're getting your income from is like flowing water. So we're looking for bottlenecks. We're looking for where the flow of the business is coming up against resistance, or it's going round in a circle, or it's crossing over something. So get to know your staff, get to understand what makes them tick, and then secondly, look for bottlenecks in your existing business. That would also increase the output.
Absolutely. Well, couldn't agree more. So, what we just touched on is the collaborations with your team to understand, to just get to know what's happening in the business. Because if you're out of the business, you want to understand what's happening in the business,
Yeah.
and also allowing for feedback. It's very important. There's so many other, really good processes that you should put in your business, but we don't have time to discover all of them. But please get in touch, because this is something that we are actually teaching with James. We are helping busy entrepreneurs to take your business to the next level. And this is through our personal one-to-one meetings. And as well as we having business mentors, and we having coaches to take our journey to the next level. So stay tuned for more. James, you mentioned about the business seasonality, and this is something that is really dear to my heart, because it's something I've learned from my recent trainer, mentor, and there's actually three of them. So this credit goes to Daniel Hill, and this is a 4 season of business. This is his blueprint, and that's something I've applied to my business. And that's it's just previously when you mentioned about seasonality of the business, I finally understand how important it is. And there are times in a year that we should focus on different aspect of our business. And you might ask me, so what happens if I'm in a service business? What happens if I'm in a trading business? I need to trade all year round. And that's true. That's absolutely true. But as a business entrepreneur, when you're looking at your business, and when you're just looking at it from just from outside of the business, what's the best time in a year to fix the boat, to look at the processes, to sharpen the strategy for your business? What's the best time to hire people? There is actually a best time in a year for hiring a new employees in your business.
Yeah.
And it's a vast subject, but James, if we could just narrow this subject down to the next 10, 15 minutes
Yeah.
to give as much value to the audience as we can.
Okay.
So, James, how do you understand the principle of seasons, of 4 seasons of the business?
Well, one of the best things you can do is actually look at the big brands. They're doing this on a day-to-day basis. So, for example, let's say I had a shop. Let's say I had a news agent, and obviously we need to have sales. We need to have sales coming through the tills. We call that the day-to-day sales. But we also need to understand that we need to have shop fits now and again. So we need to make the shops look better, more modern. We would have seasonal promotions. So as you came into the shop, there would be, I think they call them like the gondola ends, and they'd have different promotions based on the season. In fact, you might have summer stuff, so you might have products there for sale that suit the warm weather. So the big brands are always rebranding, always looking at what they're doing. They're always looking at seasonality and extra sales from that, and they're looking at where they're growing and what their overall strategy is. So you might often see them buying up their sort of competition. But the point is that the guy in the shop is continuously running the tills, taking money. But there's people that aren't in the shop. They're on the business. Maybe they're back in head office somewhere. They're working on strategy, and they're working on seasonality, and they're working on when's the best time to implement things. So that's what we talk about, the seasons of the business. That really applies to people that aren't in the business. They're people that are standing back from the business. Like we talk about, a modern entrepreneur is not in the business, is on the business. But the 4 seasons are very, very important. You cannot be flat out all the time, and you need to understand, when to be chilled and when to get fizzy. So the 4 seasons of the business. I think that you're right, Greg. We need to understand, when we need to work on the business, when we need to look at the business, when we need to work on our processes. So yeah, the 4 seasons of the business is very, very
And
important.
yeah, so James, thank you very much for for this explanation, and for how you seeing the 4 seasons in your business, and just to give the the general scope of what it is, the autumn, winter, spring, and summer. What I've learned, and I'm taking from my coaches and my business mentor, is that the autumn is best season for your strategy, for where we are taking this business over the course of next year. And you would you would like to think about the business not from January and have that headline, working on that strategy, working on your business. I actually, what I was told is, if you start from autumn, where you're just after summer. Summer is busy. Everyone in summer just loves, the people are being awakened to life because it's nice and warm. Everyone loves summer. The trees and flowers are blossoming. Everything is growing.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely, we just love life during the summer.
You could argue
Uh,
that nature's at its best in the middle
yeah,
of
yeah,
summer.
yeah.
You could argue
And
that.
that's exactly, and that season has this that season has a very specific tasks, which we're going to come to, is going to be the last one of our 4 seasons. So just after summer, we are going, we are in autumn, and
Yeah.
it's been proven that this is the best time to work on the business strategy. Get laser focus on what it is that you want your business to achieve over the course of next 12 months from autumn. And this is working on your strategy, is to understand where you are now and where you would like to be, and what's the strategy. And you know don't don't start until you finish. That's the favorite saying of my trainer.
Hmm.
So it's be focused, have your sessions, like the weekly sessions of the high value tasks. So this is where you're being systematic, and over the next 2-3 months you're on of autumn, you're just purely working on the vision where you're going to take the business for this next 12 months. And I understand you might ask, but how can I do that? I've got to sell to make money and to pay bills, and I get that. What I'm asking you is not to stop trading, is focus over those months to work on your business. So if you give yourself 2 hours a week to solely work on the business vision strategy for the next 12 months, that's all there is. If you are in a position where you have already a team looking after the operations, this is your benefit, where you can actually focus a whole time that you can on taking the business to the next level.
Yeah, yeah.
And James, if we go into winter, I think you've got this great saying. What was that just about?
You chill with the still, and you get fizzy when it's busy. So
Can you
if
explain chill with the steel?
and you get fizzy with the busy. And I love your analogy with the cruise control. Take your foot off the gas, let everything just cool down, let everything roll in. We're still taking sales, we're still doing some great stuff, but we weren't at that full blossoming, flat out, go, go, go. We're just chilling out, we're just letting things cool down, we're patting people on the back. Love that analogy, Greg. I haven't really thought about it like that before. So I love that sort of cruising in. Just enjoy it. Why don't you just enjoy the view for a little while? Just enjoy what you've done, and maybe it's been a really good year and you've got fantastic sales. Just enjoy that feeling.
Reflect.
I love that. Yes, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So then we're coming into the winter months. Now the winter months traditionally has always been a time for hibernation, isn't it? It's cold. We start to put more clothes on, we watch more movies, we are closer to our family. So everything is coming in. Everything's sort of coming in as that quest for warmth and hibernation. What is the winter for you, Greg? What do you do in the winter in terms of the seasonality of a business? Then I'm very interested.
So yeah, winter is the favorite part for all of the introverts, because and they might agree with me, because this is the time where I don't have to go out with everyone, going out to the beach, out all the trips, because they just love the time for themselves, get super focused on all of the analysis, on all of the problems, because that's their strengths. That's where they blossom. Given the computer and a spreadsheet and unlimited supply of a favorite drink, chocolate, milk, tea, coffee, and they'll be absolutely loving it. So the winter is, if you know who is the steel, and steel is part of the wealth dynamic analysis. So we've got blazers, we got dynamo, we got steel, and we've got tempo. That's four different. James, help me.
It's like the compass, isn't it? You've got north, east, south, and west. You're talking about lords love to be in a cave doing spreadsheets, working on processes. Leave me alone.
Four different personalities. That's what it was. Thank you so much. I crave my coffee. And I'm not a steel. I'm not a steel person who loves the spreadsheets and analyzing, but that's exactly the best time for if you've got a steel in your business, the person who loves spreadsheets, this is the time when you are allowing them to take the front seat of the business, because you've just taken the autumn to reflect on summer, on this busy period, and you are creating this strategy for the year ahead, and now it's time to form it. Now it's time to put this into, okay, so what needs to be done. We know where we want to go, what needs to be done, and this is where the analytical minds are performing best. And if you have those in the business, or if you are that person, this is where you are absolutely, you just flying through the winter season. And as you said, that people are, people put the warm clothes on and they just, they just closer to home, family. And as much as you still have to trade, sell to pay your bills or make, make sure the business is running, fine. But
Yeah.
this is where that part of the year is solely focused on, fixing and forming that strategy which you've then come up with during the autumn. And this is where Steele's analytical minds are the best. And if you're the person, you'll love this season. If you're not, find out who's in your team, that person who loves analysis and taking the business and just, take it apart and put it back together.
So are you saying that this is the time to really look at the detail, the processes, really get in to the nitty gritty of how a business works in a processing point of
Yep.
view? Wow,
Yes,
that's really
absolutely.
interesting. So that is the lifting the bonnet, as you were talking about then.
It is. This
Wow.
these are the favorite saying of my mentor, Dan Hill. And precisely, and just after when you come from the winter months, and this is where we are now, we are now in the winter months, and this is exactly what you should be doing. And we are coming out of the winter months and we going into spring. And spring is when, the life is starting slowly coming from from winter seasons, and it's just starting to to get the momentum. And this, after knowing what the strategy is, after having all of those processes nailed in the business,
Yeah.
you're now going into the season where you're going to implement all of this, what you've worked on over the autumn and winter, in your life, in your businesses. And if you've then analyzed over the winter that you need some help in the business, that's the perfect time to hire. This is the
Ah,
ideal time to hire people in your business, just on the end of the winter, when everything is starting coming back to life after all the cold months. This is the time when you're going to hire a person, and they will have the next 3 months just before summer, the next 3 months to get to know the team, get to know all of the processes you've so hard worked on during the winter. This is when they actually a time to buy into your business, yeah, and your strategy, your vision, everything that is your business, live and breathe for.
hmm.
And that is the time when you're taking them, and you just line up everything. But you, as an entrepreneur, you want to lead it from the back. You don't want to lead this. You don't want to be the captain. You want to see and give the control to your people. So this is where you're
Wow.
delegating from that.
Yeah, yeah. So, and I suppose if you've put all those processes in place, then really you just
Mhm.
need people to manage those processes, don't you?
Yes, exactly. So this is it. The winter is to get the processes in place, and the spring is to allowing them to work from those processes. And you are not leading. You're not leading at the front of it. You want to lead from the back seat, because you want to be on the business, not in the business. And
Yeah.
this is spring, ladies and gentlemen. And from spring, we're going to my favorite season, which is summer. And a summer is where you're actually just purely and solely focus on what your business is best about. This is where the sell season is coming through. And as much as I appreciate, you can only sell in this, in the summer, you have to do this all year around. It's absolutely fine. But this is where you're just focusing on the best deals you can do. This is where your team understands that this is the opportunity to take everything we've learned in the business and actually apply it, fully
Yeah.
apply it.
You know, Greg, this is where if you think about this as an Olympian, imagine being an Olympic athlete. This is the time we set our personal best. We've been training all year for this moment. We've been
Yes.
we've been running or whatever we're doing all year, but this is perfectly timed for the Olympics. This is where I want to be at my very best. So,
Indeed.
I
Indeed.
love that. I love the open the taps. I love it when it's time to really open up the engine, rev down the back straight. Love
Mhm.
that analogy.
Exactly. So, uh, Wow, I'm very passionate about that. It's brilliant, and this may be a difficult to start with and understand the concept of 4 seasons in the business, but actually it makes complete sense when you're applied. And
Yeah.
it might not be easy for me to explain this during the 1 hour, or actually we only talked about this about 15 20 minutes, 15 minutes. So it's not easy to actually explain the whole benefits of it. It's so much, so much. It's the content that actually takes a full year to really digest, really try and put it in place. And if you'd like to know more, please reach out, because this is exactly what we want to do. Is we want to share the knowledge we have with people who want to make change in their personal professional life. And if that's you, reach out, because
Yeah,
we are here to
absolutely.
help.
Absolutely. We want to form a community where we can all really share these ideas using soulful synergies to run a modern business. Do you know what I
Yes.
really loved about? So the delegation is fantastic. That's about letting go so you can
Yeah.
stand back from the business and work on the strategy and the seasons. But do you know what? You've actually given me a sense of, as a business owner, you give me this sense of I can just chill out for for a bit of the year. I can
Hmm.
relax. It's not go, go, go. There is time to reflect, to look at processes, to recharge, to rehire people, and then you only have to go flat out for a quarter of the year. Isn't that a lovely, lovely thought and feeling? That's a really, really good one. So thanks for that, Greg.
Well, there's so much more. There's so much more. I've just honestly, I've just started. I could go for another hours, and my missus knows I could go for 4 hours and hours, and James, I know you could go as well. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being with us today, and giving us some of your time on Sunday morning. This is a time when we're going to spend with family. This is time when I'm going to go and join my family. It's a Mother's Day. All the best to all of the mothers out there. Me and James, we extend, our gratitude for you, and you've been brilliant. My mom, thank you so much. You have been amazing, and I love you. And all the best to all moms in the world.
Happy Mother's Day to everybody.
Happy Mother's Day to everybody. James, wow, what an episode today. It's so much more that we could cover today, but unfortunately, this is the time when we are going to go back and enjoy our life, our Sunday, and we'd like to thank you once again for being with us. See you next Sunday, 9 a.m.
Take care. Have a wonderful week.
Have a wonderful week. All the best.
Bye.